My next guest is a lady named Madeleine le Roux. She's one of the stars of something called The Dirtiest Show in Town, which I haven't seen, but it's the name of an off-Broadway show. The Times reviewer said it shouldn't be called that it had pungent satire in it, which I know will be disappointing to a lot of you. But the cast does sing and dance and apparently in the flesh, but with clothes on and so forth. And I hear that she's a very funny lady. Will you welcome, please? No, I don't hear she's a funny lady. That's a terrible thing to say about a person you haven't met. She is an unusual performer and an interesting woman. Madeleine le Roux, there. Well, there you are.
Yes,
Madeleine le Roux, that's a terrific name. Is it, this thing about that title, is that The Dirtiest Show in Town? Is that sort of a put-on? Is that a comment?
it's a good title, isn't it?
It's a terrific title.
Yes, well, that's part of the reason for it, I'm sure. According to the author, it's about the effects of air, water, and mind pollution on New York City. And the show is really a series of sketches about what the author thinks is wrong with the way we live today.
I see.
But it could have been called anything. It's just a good title. It sold the show.
So I gather that a person with his hands over his eyes could enjoy the show just as much as if he didn't have them.
Oh, yes, I think it's largely verbal. You know, I think a blind person would enjoy it far more than a deaf one. But obviously...
Especially if he knew Braille, like heck.
They don't get that close, hopefully. Not yet. There are visual aspects, of course. And the cast was chosen for, shall we say, physical appeal as well as talent.
Well, I'm sure. So. Gad, you have a wonderful voice. It's the first thing I noticed. It's just marvelous. Madeleine, there's so many shows with nudity in them that it's almost hard to find one where there isn't these days, it seems like. When you are in one, what questions do you hope won't be asked you in an interview?
Oh, well, the two usual ones. First of all, how do you feel about it, which I guess is natural. You know? And that's sort of fairly easy to answer. It's no different from playing in a costume, and sometimes it's a lot easier. You don't have to sort of worry about zippers and that sort of thing. And the second one, the really sort of crazy one to me, is usually asked by male interviewers.
Wow.
How come the boys in the show aren't physically affected, shall we say?
You'd think people would have more originality than to ask.
I mean, to me, it's so crazy.
A dumb question like that. What actually is the answer to it?
Okay, here
I'm sorry, we can go past that if you like and talk about...
No, I mean, you're a performer, and you're on stage, and the whole sort of nude scene is choreographed for aesthetic appeal, and that's about it. You're busy thinking about looking good.
It's your job.
It's your job,
Mr. Zanuck and I are from Nebraska. Are you from Nebraska? I can't tell from your accent.
Wyoming.
Go on.
It's absolutely true. I was born there.
Wyoming?
Wyoming, yeah.
Now, where? Where?
Laramie.
Oh, I've been to Laramie.
Yes, I don't remember it.
Yep.
I left it when I was about 6 months old, I think.
You know, you're a very versatile actress. I've done a little research on you, and you even play a typical American housewife in a commercial, is it, or something like that?
No. Since I've been in the show, I've had a lot of agents sort of sending me for commercials. I presume this is because they want me to sign with them for some reason. But these commercials they've been sending me up for are just too insane. They're sending me up for typical American housewife.
Well, they sent you for one. You didn't play one.
Oh, no. But the advertising agencies keep calling me back. And I think that's because, you know, they really laugh. Yeah. They wait for me to say my line and then crack up.
How would you play a typical American housewife?
Well, I had this one for a laundry product, which shall be nameless. And I was supposed to be sitting in this laundry with another housewife, you know, the herring curlers and gossiping. And then the career girl walks in who has the magical product. And I think my interpretation was a little colored by the satirical nature of the show we're doing. And I read the stuff, and I couldn't believe it, the script. You know, it's just insane. So we started the commercial, and I said, "Oh, here comes the career girl."
Like any housewife in Laramie, Wyoming.
You know, and I couldn't even finish the
Wouldn't do it.
sentence. They sort of fill about. And then the second one I did was for coffee. And I'm sure they only called me to have a laugh because they sort of waited for my one line, which was, the situation was a dinner party, and I was supposed to have just cooked this incredible chicken. And now I was going to give them the coffee. And my city cousin had come to visit, and I was a country girl. And I trotted up to him with this coffee, and I was looking really strange. And I said, "Here's your coffee, Cousin Luke." And everybody fell about, and I couldn't, you know. I think they'd sort of known that I was coming, because when I walked into the agency, I just entered the door, and I'd never met this person before that I was supposed to see. And the man turned around and said, "You must be Madeleine." And I said, "Amazing." And
They're paid for being right on top of things like that. They know the name of the person who's
what do you mean by that one?
Oh, come on. You people from Wyoming all talk alike. Quick, what's your sign, Madeleine?
Gemini.
Oh, I missed. Come back and tell us about that. We will see you tomorrow. Good night.